Jessica Holmes is a current Wake County Commissioner. She is the Democratic nominee for Commissioner of Labor, and she joins us now for a conversation about that statewide race. Commissioner, thank you so much for coming on.
It is my absolute pleasure.
Well, what brings you at this time in your life to say, I need to be North Carolina's next Commissioner of Labor?
Well, for starters, we are in the middle of the greatest public health crisis of our lifetimes. And quite frankly, the Department of Labor has fallen quite short when it comes to worker protections. I've spent the majority of my legal career focused on workers' rights, representing employees all across the state of North Carolina. But my start that really led me on this path was the reality that my mother was a laborer in a meatpacking plant and sustained a workplace injury, which significantly impacted her ability to care for myself and my younger siblings. I'm the eldest of 5. So in many ways, I was on this path to becoming a lawyer focused on labor and employment law and to be 2020's Democratic nominee for Labor Commissioner long before I even understood the concept of workers' rights.
Let's talk about COVID-19 coronavirus in the workplace. You're saying current state regulations aren't there to keep us safe as employees and workers. So what do you propose we do about that as a state?
I'll give you an example. Virginia was the first state in the country to implement essentially an emergency temporary standard designed to essentially make what were CDC guidelines mandatory. We need to make sure that when workers go to work, that they have PPE, that they're able to socially distance. I have received complaints from across our state, for example, of construction workers working on construction sites without running water, using porta potties, at a time when, at one point, hand sanitizer was difficult to come by. We need to be more responsible and make sure that we hold our employers accountable for creating safe work environments, even if it's just making sure that employees can work at least 6 feet apart from each other.
How do you mesh your ideas in January with those of a re-elected Roy Cooper or a freshly elected Governor Dan Forest?
I have a history of working across the aisle, and quite frankly, if you are a worker in need, I'm not going to ask about your political affiliation. I stand ready to work with whatever leadership is in place. At the end of the day, I feel we all have more in common than we have that are different. At the end of the day, everyone wants to go to work with the same 10 fingers and 10 toes that they went to work with and have the ability to make ends meet and not have to choose between, am I going to go to work and risk my life and or that of my families by not being in a safe work environment due to COVID or any other reason. At the end of the day, I think all North Carolinians want that.
What do you think of the staged reopening of our economy? Because for every business that is allowed to reopen, that's employees who have to go to work. What's your advice to Governor Cooper as we stand here pre-election September 2020?
I support Governor Cooper's very thought-based, measured, data-based approach to reopening. At the end of the day, we need to leave the science to the experts. Secretary Mandy Cohen has done a phenomenal job leading our state, and as quickly as I'd like for our businesses to open, it's important that we do so safely.
When people look you up online after this interview, they'll see your service with the Wake County Board of Commissioners, including a stint as the youngest chairwoman of the commission for a large county. How does that leadership and that experience then, how does that prepare you for today? What kind of leader are you?
I'll note that I'm a leader who was born and raised in a very rural community in eastern North Carolina, and in 2014 was elected as the youngest person ever elected to the Wake County Board of Commissioners. So I very much understand the rural-urban divide and the fact that the needs of an urban county like Wake County are very different from the needs of a rural county where I grew up, like in Pender County. So that is a perspective that I bring to the table. In addition to having been an attorney focused on labor and employment law and a Wake County commissioner responsible for many worker-friendly policies, from voting yes on a living wage for all of Wake County's employees. I put forth Wake County's first ever paid parental leave policy. I always joke with Governor Cooper that I brought it forth to Wake County before he brought it forth to state employees. Also, other policies such as improved quality health care, access to volunteer leave, paid family illness leave. And so, in running for labor commission, I'm one of those folks where I often say, you can judge me by the fruit of my labor.
Tell us about your relationship with the state lawmakers. Wake County has a few Republicans and Democrats that sort of split depending on where the counties are. How do you get along with the leaders in Raleigh? Because some of what you're proposing, you'll need their help to accomplish.
I will absolutely need the help of folks in the General Assembly in order for me to do my job, which is to ensure the safety, health, and general well-being of North Carolina's workers. I'm going to need a General Assembly that is willing to expand Medicaid, willing to address our, quite frankly, embarrassing unemployment benefits, address matters like workers' compensation, and I'm going to need a General Assembly that is receptive to those things. That is why I'm working very hard with Democrats in key races all across our state to make sure that we elect legislators that understand the needs of everyday working North Carolinians.
Yeah, since that pro-worker platform coming from you as you run this campaign here in 2020, but what do you say to businesses? You have to balance, businesses will come calling on you as well for balance, for help, for assistance, and for regulation relief at times. What do you say to them?
I'm really glad that you brought up that question, because oftentimes people try to paint certain Democrats as pro-labor and anti-business. I very much believe that North Carolinians do not have to choose between being pro-business and being pro-labor. In fact, I need the business community to thrive and create opportunities for workers to be able to go to work. Right now, I feel there is an imbalance when it comes to the Department of Labor, when it comes to businesses and workers. I would like to restore that balance, because I believe it's very important to have businesses and workers at the table working on solutions together. I have a wonderful reputation in working with businesses right here in Wake County. I've served on the Raleigh Chamber of Commerce and have been responsible for working with businesses to implement some of the same worker-friendly policies I've talked about. And I find, once again, that we all have more in common than not. And I've worked very well with workers, and I've worked very well with the business community, and will certainly continue that trend.
How do you think that imbalance occurred? Was it the result of state policies and state leaders creating those making those high-level policy decisions? Or do you sense that business has lobbied and influenced things at the expense of North Carolina's workers?
At the end of the day, I see an imbalance. And in politics today, we tend to focus on blame. I don't know if there's any one body or any one person that is to blame. My goal is to find solutions and getting the right people at the table. And that's what I'm focused on. That is my leadership style.
Now, you're an attorney, so what would it mean to North Carolina to have someone running labor policy who's also an attorney, not just a commissioner, but both?
Someone who has a thorough understanding of working families. I'll also note that growing up, I am someone who fit the category of the working poor. In being a first-generation college student, I'm someone that has been what we would now consider to be an essential worker. I've bagged groceries at grocery stores. I've waited tables at restaurants right here in the Triangle, working my way through college, and, in some ways achieving what people would consider to be, the American dream. So I have not only the lived experiences of many working families across North Carolina, but I have the legal experience to understand the regulations and to fairly implement them, but also the political experience as a Wake County commissioner, who under my tenure, there has been thousands of jobs created across not just Wake County, but quite frankly, the Triangle that we had a part in. And, those three facets are things that are very distinct about my leadership that I bring to the table.
What do you think might be misunderstood about blue-collar workers and rural workers in North Carolina when most of the votes, frankly, will come from urban areas, not rural areas?
I think one thing that's misunderstood about rural voters in particular, I'll focus on the need to increase the minimum wage. Many people see the desire to increase the minimum wage as just folks who are lazy, who want something for nothing. I can assure you of the workers I've talked to, from the fast food industry to our farmers, to our construction workers, none of them are lazy. And in fact, they are hardworking North Carolinians who deserve to be able to make ends meet. And quite frankly, the minimum wage has not kept up with the cost of living. It doesn't take an economist to take $20 and go into the grocery store and realize that you're going to get less. You're going to get fewer groceries than you got 10 years ago, and certainly 5 years ago. So the folks that I'm talking to, they aren't lazy. They are hardworking North Carolinians who just want a fair shake in this economy.
Yeah, it just popped in my head as I was listening to you. What do you make of, I walk in the grocery stores and different businesses. I don't see a lot of full-time offers on the job wanted, help wanted. It's all PT, part-time, part-time. Your thoughts on that?
My thought is that we need to ensure as many full-time opportunities as possible. Also, when it comes to independent contractors, we need to make sure that these folks are actually independent contractors and that this is not just a way for employers to not give someone benefits.
You talking Uber?
I'm talking any employer who would sidestep the law and put someone, basically misclassify an employee for the purpose of not paying them adequate wages or giving them fair benefits. We all see the crisis in having health care tied to your employment, because now that so many people have lost their jobs, they've also lost not only health care for themselves, but health care for their families. So any employer that goes out of their way to not give workers full-time opportunities with health benefits and other benefits that they deserve, that is certainly a challenge that far too many workers face.
Jessica Holmes is currently a Wake County Commissioner, but is the Democratic nominee for North Carolina Commissioner of Labor. Ms. Holmes, thanks for taking time out to speak with me and for all those voters out there in North Carolina.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
You've met the candidates for North Carolina Commissioner of Labor. As always, thank you for watching and learning about your Council of State candidates, and be sure to cast your ballot in election 2020. See you soon.